On Friday night, we took regulation breathalysers supplied by the Home Office to the Green Dragon at Shenfield, a typical motorist pub in Essex. Statistics show that in Britain last year, drink played a part in 13,000 fatal or serious accidents. Breathalyser tests have been introduced in an effort to reduce that number.
I think it's fairly diabolical because it doesn't take any account, for example, of the pedestrian who's had too much to drink. He could cause an accident, but he doesn't get tested. It's the driver who gets tested, and I think that's unfair.
What do you think are your chances of getting away with it if you've had 1 over the 8?
Well, it's not 1 over the 8. 1 over the green crystal, perhaps. I think very good. I think because I will drive no differently than I do now, and it's never attracted police attention up to now.
Do you mind blowing into this bag before you drive?
Certainly not.
One big blow. Fill it right up. OK, let's have a look. How many drinks have you had tonight?
3 pints.
3 pints. Well, look, I'm afraid you're not sober anymore.
Oh.
Are you driving home tonight?
Yes.
Well, on Monday night, that'll be illegal.
Well,
Do you think you'll still drive home on Monday night?
well, no, not if that's like it.
Well, 3 pints isn't much, is it?
It isn't very much, no.
But do you think you're still, you know, perfectly capable of driving?
Quite capable, yes.
You don't sound very capable.
Well, I should be.
I contend that I'm perfectly fit to drive a car.
But you can't defy the law. It's the law of the land now.
Ah, that may be. It may be the law of the land, but I contend that I'm a fit and proper person to drive a motor car.
Barbara Castle says that the only rule is to not drink at all. Now, you're saying that you can. Why should you be so special?
Well, what does she know about it anyway?
Well, do you know that you're capable of driving?
I'm convinced that I'm capable of driving. I've done this for years now.
I don't see what I am. As I say, for many, many years I've driven with far more liquor in me than I have now. And I've driven in Kenya, in Uganda, down in South Africa. And as I say, and I still feel that I am capable of driving this car home.
So you're going to drive home tonight and you're not going to change your drinking habits at all?
Certainly not.
All right, let's have a look. You're drunk. You're not capable of driving. Now, what are you going to do about it?
Well, quite honestly, I don't feel drunk. I mean, this is the point.
But this is the law of the land.
Yes,
you
I
cannot
do
drink
realise
and
this.
drive anymore over this limit.
I see. Oh, well.
All right. But will you do this when the law becomes in force on Monday?
Well, I wonder whether they'll sort of pick on the people like myself.
But you're drunk.
Oh, God. That's the way it goes.
Well, tell me what you think about this law.
Well, I don't think it's... Well, no, basically, it's probably a quite a good law because, you know, anything to prevent accidents on the road I can't agree with. But it obviously, you know, it's different with different people. And some people get drunk on a small gin. Other people take 15 pints before they get drunk.
But it's aimed at ordinary people like you and me, not alcoholics.
Yes, well, this is the trouble. I mean, what can I say? I'm drunk.
Well, they've fetched this law in. What else can it be? It's fair. But normally next week I wouldn't go to that extent. I've had 4 pints. So I shall keep down to 3 pints. Fair enough.
Do you think you really will keep to 3 pints?
Yes, I can manage on that. I can enjoy my evening on 3 pints of beer.
Drunken drivers should be off the road. But when they can convince me that passing that test, such as you've done now, that you're drunk and not fit to drive a car, I think it's a lot of cock.
But you could drive a coach and horses through the present act.
Why do you reckon you can do that?
Because you can go in and refuse to take the blood test. The breathalyzer is not the ultimate conviction. You can go through and take a blood. You can go into the station. They'll ask for a blood test. You refuse that. You take a urine test. They wait an hour. They have to throw the first sample away. You wait another hour. Then you refuse to take the urine sample and say you'll take the blood test. If you take the blood test, then your blood alcohol will have dropped by at least 30 or 40, whatever it happens to be. I forget, milligrams or something.
You seem very well informed on the law, so you're going to carry on drinking as before, are you?
Yes, I've read the Act, and I've made sure in advance that I know exactly what I'm in for, anyway.
What's your job?
I'm a law student.
I don't agree with the law, but I shall take notice of it because I don't want to lose my licence for a year. Or, as the case might be, whatever the penalty is.
What do you think your chances of getting away with it are?
Well, I don't think they bring laws in that you can get away with anything today. I mean, 70-mile-an-hour limit, and I think As far as I'm concerned, Mrs. Castle wants to drive people off the road.
In a bizarre turn of events, it would appear that we've fallen in line with European directives. Keir Starmer's just so desperate to get back into Europe, he's quite happy to hand them multiple tens, in fact, of billions of pounds over to Ursula, and happy to take on board all of the EU regs that the European Union can come up with. And they've done so many. The people that design these regulations must be bored, and they'll have been stretching themselves to really come up with a new law to make our lives, quote, safer.
Car breathalysers. So British cars are set to be fitted with breathalysers and black box style recorders, which will tell you if you're over the limit. Thoughts?
I mean, this is in keeping with the European standards, which is why the British government seems to want to do it. I just, if the criticism is, oh no, this is Big Brother, nanny state, what have you, I don't get it.
No,
I mean, it's a good thing that there aren't people tooling around in their cars 3 times over the limit.
And it's
if they
illegal.
if they can't start their car because they failed a breathalyser.
So that's what will happen. The car won't start if you fail the breathalyser.
I think what's more important here is it's the morning after. Because we were talking in making...
Yes, that's really
you've got to
true.
be a special kind of moron to drink drive, on the same day. But I think it's a trap that people fall into innocently.
Yes.
That they have a couple of drinks in the evening.
A night's sleep.
They might not get a great night's sleep.
Yeah.
They have to be up early.
Yeah.
And actually, if you had a drink at 2... there's no way you'd get into a car at 7 in the evening.
Yeah.
I feel fine.
Yeah.
But if you sort of up late and then you got into your car the next morning, you probably wouldn't even think you're over the
Definitely. And if you've had more than a couple of drinks, some people might just think, oh, well, I slept, it's out of my system. So I think this is a really good thing. If it saves lives because it cuts accidents on the road, I mean, what's not to like about it? Yeah. Basically.
I'm with you.
It's like, it's one of the advantages of new technology rather than just...
The same arguments are made about seatbelts.
Exactly.
They save people's lives.
Exactly.
What's the argument against seatbelts?
Well, that's, I mean, at the time...
People said it was like the nanny state
At the time,
making it illegal not to wear a seatbelt.
Oh, I don't want to wear it. Do you know what I mean? Forget it. It saves people's lives. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
If you've driven a car that's under 3 years old and you get in the car, you'll notice that there's a bunch of safety features already built in. And, my car, I just drive a small car, but it's relatively new. And the first time you drive down the road, it steers you. And you go what's going on here? I had no idea this car was going to do this. And it took me quite by surprise. And the car said, stay in your lane. And I was like, all right. And then I watched it do this a number of times. And then, of course, I got a bit braver with it. And I thought, you know what? As we're coming up here, I'm just going to take my hands off the steering wheel a little bit to see what happens. And it went, put your hands back on the steering wheel. And I thought, all right, I'll put my hands back on the steering wheel. Sorry for trying to con you there. And I did find the first 3 months to be especially stressful, where the car was telling me off continually. Like if you go 2 miles above the 30 limit, it beeps at you and goes ding, ding, ding. I eventually found ways to switch it off, but what it does periodically, the car switches the stuff back on, because it knows you want to switch it off. So this type of invasive technology has been around for quite a few years now, and it's going to continue to get worse. And of course, what they're talking about now is noise regulation. So what's going to happen? Although you'll be allowed to play your music, the car's going to detect where you are, at what time of day you're driving around. Is this a pleasant sound for everyone around you? Should you be allowed to play sounds at this level? And everything else. So what's actually happening? The car, if you get in, and I'll say right up front, I think drink driving is an abominable thing to do. It's highly dangerous and it's killed a lot of people. So that's fine, in one respect. And the noise thing, I do see a lot of cars with really, really loud music on, and I do sometimes find it annoying when I'm driving along. So in some respects, I agree with it. But what I don't agree with is this continual push to keep me safe. I think at some point when you're keeping a person so safe that it removes the charm of life, the goodness of life. As a direct example of that, I'm going to be going on holiday at some point mid-August for a few weeks, And I'm going to go off. Now, I have to say that, the plane that I'm going to take there, I'm not that nervous about flying, but, when you're up there above the Atlantic or whatever, and it's in the middle of the night, and you do think, hey, if we went down here in this flying aluminium can that we're in here, then, there's no possibility that I'd be rescued. There's a little bit of, not fear, but there's a kind of a background feeling of, I hope everything's going to be all right. I'm sure you get what I mean. But would I want to remove that from my life? Well, no. Because if I'm going to desensitize my life that much, if I'm going to remove all risk from my life, then what's left? What is left? Should I not go on holiday and experience a holiday and have those memories for my deathbed? Should I kind of go, you know what? That's a bit risky, that. Of course, they do say that you're far more likely to die in a car crash than you are in a plane crash, a la Rain Man. And that was the first time I saw that. But since then, that has been a fact that I've heard many, many times before about car journeys. But of course, does that mean that I'm not going to take a car journey? I, for instance, love going hiking in the Lake District. It's about 2-hour drive from where I am. I go straight down the A1 along the A66 there. I can just stop off. My favourite mountain that I love to go to is Blencathra. I have to say I've been there multiple times, many, many times in fact, and I love staying there. But that drive, it's a little bit dodgy sometimes. The weather can be horrible. And there's big trucks thundering along, going way too quick, and everyone's veering around, and there's not that many cars on the road, which strangely makes it a little bit more risky because everyone drives too quickly. There's been many times I've been driving, it's been foggy, and I've thought, hey, this is a bit dicey here. I've had to slow down, particularly if I'm coming back early in the morning, etc. But I'm far more likely to die in a car crash doing that than I am, for instance, driving to Morrison's or something like that. And so, do I still go on those things? Well, of course I do. Those things make my life worth living. They add the spice of life. And I sometimes think that when we're looking at all of the individual things we do, that there is a risk element, and what the authorities generally are trending towards, because they're now bored with regulation, the authorities are trending towards making things so safe as to, I think, take the joy out of life. Now, of course, as I've previously said in videos, this overstretch of regulations is going to come to a screeching halt as soon as we have self-driving cars, because to be frank, I think a lot of people would have a drinks cabinet in their car when they're driving home from work. Many people would probably do that. They'd probably get in their car and say, you know what, I'll have a bottle of beer in the car on the way home, and I'll just kick back and watch some YouTube. Perhaps watch me while you're having a beer in the car on the way home from work. I don't know. But you see where all this is going, and I think these regulations that are coming out of the EU, they're just on maximum overdrive. They're pumping this garbage out, and I think, again, EU regulations overreach. It's our society trying to remove all risk, and unfortunately, you can't do that. And, we see this everywhere, particularly I would add with children and how we manage their time, we manage how they play. When I was young, as many of you probably had the same as me, I used to disappear on a morning and, just out all day. Nobody knew where I was, and I'd be at some remote riverbank 4 miles away probably, just like throwing stones into the water and contemplating life. And, it's sad in some respects that those days of exploration and boredom, learning boredom inside out, and all of that, they're gone in our desensitized, vanilla, homogenized, safe society. I think it's gone beyond the point where it's healthy for us. Anyway, just a thought there on EU regulations and the car breathalysing you and not allowing you to drive home. So no more bartenders taking your keys from you. The car's just not going to let you go anywhere. Thanks very much for your time.